I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Monday, April the 11th, brought to you in part by Joplin Regional Stockyards. About 6,000 head here for the regular Monday feeder cattle auction on Monday. And they're one of the few barns that will always have some of those hard, lighter cattle, some of those stocker cattle, if you guys are needing some to finish your loads of turnout cattle, but that's just about coming to a close. But you guys that are raising calves, and I encourage people to raise fall calves, always have, but even if you have fall calves, you still got to give them their shots and everything if you want them to bring top price, and you need to be thinking about getting those calves weaned and fully vaccinated if you want to get them into that June wean vac special that Joplin holds in the latter part of June there. But that's a top selling sale. If you guys are interested in doing that, you can go to JoplinStockyards.com and check out all the dates, and there's a lot of things on that interactive website that they have there at JoplinStockyards.com. Windy and dry, and everywhere I've been, I know there's places that it's not, and back home or where I used to live in northwest Missouri, they've been getting moisture and things there, but I tell you what, for the most part, everywhere is windy and dry. And I've been down in South Texas here over the last part of this past week, and even windy and dry there. I tell you what, they're not used to that wind, but really windy and dry, and was at a replacement sale there at Brenham, Texas, at Cattleman's Brenham Livestock Auction, and they had a nice offering, about 900 head of replacement females, and had several bulls too. But you could sure tell on the market that the dry weather in South Texas is limiting what their people are willing to give for those replacement females and pairs, and they had the kind they want, the good F1 Brayfords and things, and some of them still bringing up $2,400 a pair. I mean, they're not giving them away by any means, but just not as hot on some of the smaller groups and the individuals and things like that. But you know, I talked about the fire up in Beaver, Oklahoma. They've got fires down in the hill country of Texas. I talked to a guy, said part of the old King Ranch is on fire down there too. So, you know, it just adds up after a while, and then you get idiots that don't realize what they're doing, setting fires, and people are getting out and about a lot. And tell you what, they start having fires down here in Central Texas. It's not like it is up in West Texas or Southwest Oklahoma or somewhere like that, because there's people everywhere and there's stuff everywhere, so you know it's going to burn things up pretty bad. But I want to tell you guys that we had an announcement late last week that we are expecting a hearing on the Cattle Price Discovery and Transparency Act. Tell you what, we've worked and got this thing pushed through. I think we got enough support to for sure get the Senate to vote for it. We've been working on the House, and I know some of you guys have been calling in. I've been asking you to. We're going to fool around and get this deal done. Now, there's no telling what kind of dirty games that the North American Meat Institute is playing, or even NCBA, and they're mostly doing it through their talking heads. They're not actually doing it themselves, but the people that they've been paying advertising dollars to for years and years and years, and they said, hey, you kind of owe me one here. Throw me a bone. We don't want this deal. Try to talk people out of it. And, you know, don't listen to that stuff, guys. This is the only thing going, the absolutely only thing going that has a chance to save this industry and keep it viable for your kids and grandkids. There's nothing else going, I guarantee you. So we've got to have this deal, and you guys get behind it and support it. But we are expecting to have a Senate Ag Committee hearing on this new bill April the 26th. So it'll be right after Easter there the next week. So if you guys want to get behind that, please call your lawmakers and tell them that you support that bill. We had a rough week last week on the board, especially feeder cattle to open the week, because we started the week right after we saw all those images of execution style killings over there in Ukraine, which let us know that thing's not going to be over for a long time. So there's no need in thinking that that's going to get better. So you know, our grains are not going to heal up any either. So they're going to keep going up, and it's going to continue to hurt our feeder cattle. But there's got to be a limit on it, guys, because we're running short of cattle too, and we're seeing that now. As there's just not very many cattle out there anymore. Not many cattle in these sale barns. People that are trying to buy cattle to turn out for summer grass are having a hard time filling their loads, and just what's going to happen? Where's it going to come together, and how much can we afford to feed these cattle on these cost of gains? I've told you that these cost of gains are already $1.50 a pound in the Southern Plains. They're going to be getting that into the Northern Plains and the Midwest before long, but people are still giving nearly $1.50 for 900-pound steers. You give $1.50 for them, you feed them for $1.50, and then you sell them for $1.30. I'm not very smart, but I know that doesn't work. But we're just about at the end of our stocker fever here, because the guys that are really heavy hitters that put the big strings of cattle together to turn out, like in the Flint Hills and the Osage and places like that, they've been buying those cattle since January. And so they're just about to turn those cattle out. And if you guys have ever been in the Flint Hills when they turn those cattle out, of course it's fun to ship them on delivery too, but it's fun to be down there when they turn them out. A lot of those trucks have portable chutes on right behind them, and they just back up or pull into the pasture and just open the gate. And those cattle haven't seen green grass, a lot of them in their lives or since they were babies. And they come down that chute, and they lean down and take a bite, and they look back and they said, "Is this mine?" And it's really a good thing. And when you see that, you realize that cattle were built to graze, and you can't ever forget that, guys. Cattle were built to graze. We force feed them concentrated rations, but cattle were made to graze. That's why they got 4 stomachs. Let's talk about your board for last week. April live cattle futures, Monday was down 65 cents, Tuesday down $1.20, Wednesday was up 90, Thursday up 30, and Friday down 17 cents, with your April live cattle futures ending the week at 137.82. June ended the week at 133.82. April feeder cattle, Monday was down 3.20, Tuesday down 2 1/4, Wednesday was up 97 cents, Thursday down 70, Friday up just 15. Friday was kind of a nothing day on the board all the way around as far as your cattle went. But April feeder cattle ended the week at 156.55. May closed the week at 159.37. Your grains were higher for the week. Corn ended the week at 7.68 3/4 cents. Beans at 16.89, and Kansas City hard red winter wheat at 11.06 3/4 cents a bushel. Your fat cattle trade through Thursday, 80,000 head, 300 sold, negotiated in your 5-area feeding region. That's pretty good movement. Guys are trying to continue to stay current and keep moving through the cattle. We're going to find out here early in the week how many they actually sold out front, or for the 2 to 4 week delivery, which is going to hurt because we're getting here to the bigger numbers that are just right around the corner. But 80,300 was a pretty decent trade. Negotiated cash, that compares to 76,500 last week and 89,300 the same week a year ago. Talk about your market out of your feedlots. Direct trade negotiated sales in your 5-area feeding region was 50 cents to $1 lower on the trend, ranged from 136 all the way to 143. And once again, for about the 3rd or 4th week in a row, the market was mostly steady, but we saw the highest prices paid on Friday. Late Thursday and Friday, we see the highest prices paid. And so that 136 to 143, you had a weighted average on live steers in the 5-area feeding region, 138.77. That was just about 50 cents lower than the weighted average the previous Thursday, or through that Thursday for the week. Your dress sales were steady to $2 lower, 221 to 226, and your weighted average on dress steers was 222.36. Talk about Friday, I told you we had a little bit more trade. Colorado sold 100, about 2,800 for the week, and they printed for a change, so we get to talk about them, but they just brought 138. Iowa sold about 900 on Friday, 20,400 head for the week. which is about what they normally do. 141 to 142 live and 222 dressed. Nebraska, 1,300 head on Friday, 30,300 head for the week. Live sales 139 to 140 and dress sales at 222. Kansas only about 400 on Friday, 22,400 for the week, all at 138. Texas didn't sell a hoof on Friday and didn't sell too damn many hooves all through the week, only 7,200, which is not near what they need for robust trade. Box beef cutout values were higher, and they've been higher the last few weeks. We're seeing that as our grilling demand is coming around, and it's starting to warm up, and we're sure in full mode of spring now. But your weighted average on all of last week's trades on your cutouts, choice cutouts, 270.50. That was $4.31 higher than the weighted average of previous week. Selects and your late Friday sales were just about the same as that. So that was they haven't gone up any more than that weighted average. Select weighted average on all of last week's trades, 261.44. That was $2.74 higher than the previous week's weighted average. And in fact, your late Friday sales were a little bit lower than that weighted average. So it has come back just a little bit. But about a $9 choice select spread, 514 loads of cuts, grinds, and trimmings there. Slaughter was impressive. That's probably the biggest news, and I probably should have started with that. 676,000 harvested last week. That's what we've been looking for. We need to get 675 plus. So how'd we get that? Well, we were aggressive all week and then stayed aggressive on Friday and Saturday. But 676,000, that was 37,000 more than the previous week, 34,000 more than the same week a year ago. We had 120,000 head killed on Friday and another 61 on Saturday. So we need to keep that up, and your packers are wanting to speed up these chains. Let's talk about your feeder cattle market. Your real-time index on DV auction late in the day, or late in the week, at the end of the week, 155.17. That was down $1.09 from the end of the previous week, and your markets were lower, and in fact more lower than that in most of your sales. Cash feeders steady to $5 lower. Your calves were $3 to $8 lower because we're just not seeing that much demand for them, and it's starting to get warm and they're getting kind of hard to straighten up. But don't forget, on Monday here, we got a big sale coming up in Russell, Iowa. Russell Livestock, you can view and bid that sale on dvauction.com to get some of those cattle. But talk about your individual quotes. How about Hill City Livestock Commission, Hill City, Kansas? 50 head of 906-pound steers there at the end of the week, bring $147. And then something we don't always talk about, but at Bluegrass Stockyards in Campbellsville, Kentucky on Saturday, they had a special Holstein sale. Don't see a lot of Holsteins anymore with this sex semen and all the new genetics and everything. You know, it won't be long before we'll have to go to the zoo to see a Holstein steer, but they had several in Bluegrass Stockyards in Campbellsville on Saturday. Sold 66 head, 692-pound steers at $138.85. How about St. Onge Livestock had the best quote that I saw. Now there's your Row Grow top quote for the day. 81 head, 630-pound stocker steers bring $189. And that's your feeder flash for Monday.